and partnership in ccTLD landscape. But with that, I want to introduce you, next slide, please, to who are KeNIC, who are we, what do we do, and where are we based. So KeNIC is the .ke registry that is solely made to promote, manage, administer a secure and reliable .ke domain ecosystem, which forms part of our vision as an organization, which is to be a trusted domain name registry that secures your online identity, and with a mission to provide accessible, reliable domain services that protect everyone's online identity. We are guided by 3 key values, that is excellence, innovation, and integrity. On the right side, depending on which side you're seeing the screen, that is just a picture of the .ke building and where we are based in Nairobi. So currently the domains under management are around 107,000, and we are still growing. Next slide, please. I will present a history and key milestones, and the purpose of this particular slide is to show where collaboration has gotten KeNIC into, and how far and why we are willing to continue collaborating with key stakeholders to ensure the continuity and the growth of the .ke domain registry. So in 1993, the .ke domain was delegated by IANA, and in 2000, around there, in 2002, key stakeholders, that is now the internet key stakeholders in Kenya, and the government incorporated KeNIC as a limited company by guarantee, which is also a non-profit making organization. In 2015, we are privileged to be licensed by the Communications Authority of Kenya, whereby we were given our our application service providers license. And also in the same year, through collaborations with the key global internet players and highly sponsored by ICANN, the likes of ISOC, ccTLD, we were glad to hold the first African DNS forum in Kenya. And in 2016, more than 50,000 websites with .ke domain names were actually connected globally, quickly and securely through a partnership and a collaboration with the East African Data Center then, which we currently call the Africa Data Center. In 2017, we were able, through, of course, collaboration with the key stakeholders again in the internet ecosystem, and also ICANN, AFRINIC, to launch the second level domains. And in 2018, we implemented the domain name system security extension, that is the DNSSEC, being the third country in Africa to have implemented it after South Africa and Tanzania. In 2021, also through collaborations and also partnerships with key internet stakeholders, both globally and locally, we were able to hold our first Kenya Domain Name Systems Forum. In 2022, we were also privileged to hold our second and hold actually our Africa DNS Forum, again through collaboration with ICANN, AFRINIC, ISOC, and key other stakeholders in the internet ecosystem. We are currently organizing one in Kenya. I think it should be held in August, around 14th to 15th this year, which now will be named the Kenya Internet System Summit. And we wish to welcome you to Kenya for those who have not had an opportunity. So please take this chance to also visit Kenya and know more about what KeNIC does. Next slide, please. So I'll go straight to my presentation, and I'll just start by saying why the ccTLDs are usually very important, because they play a crucial role in shaping the online identity and the content specific to individual countries. So that gives us a basis as to why the collaborations and the partnerships between ccTLDs registry can unlock a very huge range of benefits, both into the ecosystem and other individual players within our system. So next slide, please. So why are these collaborations and partnerships important? So one, the ccTLD landscape is a complex one, and it's an ever-changing environment, and that's why we need to have these collaborations and partnerships. And on the second part is collaborations allow ccTLDs registries to share knowledge and expertise. And finally, but not limited, it can also help to develop new and innovative solutions to the challenges facing the ccTLD industry. Next slide, please. So, which are these key areas where ccTLD collaborations can thrive? Majority of them, we have already ongoing collaborations and partnerships, but I felt it is important to include them in this particular presentation just for purposes of emphasis, and to see how as ccTLDs we can be able to thrive and create synergy in ensuring that we are continuously communicating, continuously engaging, as well as partnering where we can be able to partner. So on the first one is, which is I highly regard it as very key, is on security and anti-spamming, whereby they will be able to share best practices for spam filtering and threat detection, collaborate on joint takedown efforts on malicious website, and develop unified reporting mechanism for cybercrime. So there is also actually a case study, and it's actually currently being done by, we call it the ccTLD. And this is a collaboration that actually helps to maintain the reputation of security ccTLDs, whereby they actually have groups that share the best practices to develop regional solution to combat spam emails. So I'm looking at it, how about if it is scaled at a larger scale, whether region-wise, whereby maybe Africa we have a similar maybe approach to coming up with groups that will be sharing ideas, best practices, or even globally. This will be really a very good opportunity to ensure that we maintain the reputation of our ccTLD domains names. It can also be done by sharing techniques that assist us to catch spam and threats, establish channels that will ensure sharing information about malicious websites among security professionals within the ccTLD ecosystem, as well as have a standardized and centralized reporting format which can be adapted across all ccTLDs to report such threats and so on. So on the next slide, please. On the second point is on policy development. This is also very important, and you have seen ICANN of TLD quite doing massive initiatives under this particular bit of it, whereby we can be able to work towards having a harmonized domain registration process. And this means that we can have a standardized core registration steps whereby people are able to know, how do I create my account? How do I do my domain search? How do I pay for my domain? As well as have, create a familiar experience across all users registering their domains in multiple countries, and also collaborate on best practices regarding user experience, the security protocols, as well as the data protection standards that you might want to incorporate during the registration process. Under ICANN, I know we have a unified, I think it's called the Uniform Domain Name Dispute Resolution Policy, which is very key when it comes actually to, giving guidelines in terms of how can you handle domain issues or domain related dispute issues. But on emphasis on this is, why can't we, as ccTLDs, come up with an online dispute resolution to complement what we already have, whereby, because we know there are several online platforms that offer standardized procedures actually for resolving smaller consumer business disputes. And these platforms can be utilized for, mediating small business issues, but also as ccTLDs, we can have our own online dispute resolution platform that can be used by all our registrants. The other thing, and I think it's on the third bit, is to advocate for ccTLD representation in global internet governance. And this will be mainly to assist us to raise awareness about the importance of ccTLDs and advocate for increased representation of ccTLDs across all stakeholder global internet meetings and forums which actually speak about policy development, security issues, and any other matter that might be of interest to all the ccTLDs. So next slide, please. On my third point, it will be on technical innovation and how can we use and thrive in collaborations to ensure that we continuously create and we become an innovative ecosystem. This will be by sharing knowledge on new technologies, sorry, like DNSSEC and domain name validation. We all know that DNSSEC offers a very significant boost and actually extra security. And there is room for further, customization, and especially for ccTLDs, whereby we can come up with collaboration research and identify maybe, like specific threats that are very specific to ccTLDs, and come up actually with measures and guidelines. How do we best, secure, and how do we best come up with security-based solutions for ccTLDs? So it can also assist us by collaborating on developing, best practices in terms of SOE optimization, whereby we can conduct case studies on websites that excel in SOE within a specific country, share these case studies highlighting the implemented strategies that have actually been implemented by this particular, ccTLD or these particular companies. And by showcasing these success stories, we in return share ideas to other ccTLDs, how they can be able to optimize their SOE. Next slide, please. The other one is on content localization, whereby we can collaborate in creating a central repository of resources for content translation and localization. And this means collaborate on development of, open source translation tools, specifically tailored to the needs of the specific ccTLDs. We can also partner on cultural sensitivity training programs for domain registrants, and this will be collaborating in development and delivering joint training programs for domain registrants on cultural sensitivity in this digital age. I think that one will be very key and very important, actually, speaking about the domains that we currently, hold, register, and administer. So it will be a very key area if we can come up with a very collaborative partnership that can assist us to offer these sensitization training programs. Finally, but not least, promote content creation initiatives focused on local languages and interests. And this can be, organized joint contests or even initiatives that encourage content creation in local languages. And this can be done in very many ways, but on top of my mind, I'm thinking of, coming up with grants to support maybe the development of educational materials or creative content in local language, or even award websites with outstanding localized content, and not limited to that. We are not limited in how many ways we can be able, to promote content creation within these specific collaborations. Next slide, please. On the last one will be global market access, and this is to partner to create multilingual domain registration platforms, develop joint marketing initiatives to promote ccTLD for global business, and encourage joint research and development initiatives. And this has been widely and well done by ICANN, whereby you have seen a research that they recently concluded, which has really assisted the ccTLDs. I hope majority of you have been able to consume that particular report. It is very detailed, well stipulated, with a lot of takeaways. So if you have not had an opportunity to read it, maybe this is the opportunity to do it. And I am only imagining, as ccTLDs, if we can corroborate and partner, it will be very easy for us to share resources and actually come up with research areas that we can corroborate on and do the researches that will assist our registries to grow. So, and maybe someone might even want to ask, then how do we even, come up and partner and create a multilingual domain registration platform? I know it seems complex, but from my angle of thinking, it was basically offering a registration interface that is documented in commonly used languages that can significantly, improve accessibility for international users. And we are not limited to actually that. On my last slide, please. So what is the .ke domain registry currently doing in terms of our collaboration efforts? And currently we are setting up a .ke Center of Excellence, and this is in collaboration with Afrialty. And our main objectives will be particularly in 3 areas, that is capacity building. We'll also offer research and consultancy. We'll also do cybersecurity and NSEC training. And this training program will aim to equip country code registrars, registrants, and specific people that run or operate the registry systems with comprehensive knowledge, practical skills, and best practices to necessarily excel in managing this domain registration processes, renewal processes, managing our customers, complying with the regulatory compliance that are required to run a ccTLD, as well as to ensure that we deliver superior customer service. So in conclusion, I'll also say as a registry, we have sent out a survey to various African ccTLDs, and we wish to request that if you have received this survey, kindly respond. It will really assist us to know what are these capacity development needs that we might need to incorporate in our Center of Excellence so that we can ensure collaboration and sharing knowledge as well as assisting one another. So thank you. Back to you, Everton.
Thank you very much, Hilda. And while I wait for questions here in the audience, I would like to take this opportunity just to congratulate the efforts by .ke. We know that collaboration is not necessarily about teaching what should be done, but as the words say, about working, it's about working together and learning with each other what could be improved. And given our differences in the ccTLD landscape, the scales and the challenges and so on. So congratulations by your efforts. Do we have any questions about for Hilda? I can see here in the Zoom room, Davis, please, the floor is yours.
Thank you. For the record, my name is Davis Waithaka from Elimu Holdings, but I also sit on the board of KeNIC. I think mine is just a comment to say, I think the KeNIC team is doing a brilliant job, and we really hope that we build the partnerships necessary to build the ccTLD sector in Africa and across the world. So thank you, Hilda, for that wonderful presentation.
Thank you, Davis, for your comment. Do we have any other comment or question? I see none here in the Zoom room, not in the room here. So then I would like to thank you, Hilda, for your great presentation. A round of applause, please.